And so I think Paul is helpful here, 2 Corinthians 5, verses 14 through 18, where the apostle says, "For the love of Christ urges us on." And I want to underscore that. For the love of Christ urges us on. There is no motive if it is not the love of God that we have known in Jesus. Let us love one another because love is of God, and those who love are born of God. Why? Because God is love. That's right. Now, I didn't say love is God. I said God is love, right? And so God is the very definition of love. God is the source of love. God is the origin of love. And the nature of love, as God has so defined it, is that love is not self-serving. Love is not self-directed, it's other-directed. I mean, that's what's going on with Jesus on the cross. That's why the Bible talks about love and Jesus going on to the cross. Jesus didn't die for his own sins, did he? No. He died for other folk. He died to set other folk free. That's what love does. Love seeks the good and the well-being and the welfare of the other before one's own unenlightened self-interest. Love is about making room and space for the other to be. I think we were made for that communion and that relationship with God, with each other, and with this whole creation. And we are messed up when those relationships aren't intact. I have a feeling the Bible's trying to tell us that God's dream for us in this creation can be found when we live in that loving, liberating, life-giving relationship with the God who created us, with each other as children of that one God who made us all, and with this creation and world that God has made. And when we do that, we are close to God's dream, and when we don't, we are living a nightmare. And the truth is, evangelism matters because God didn't make any of us for a nightmare. God made us for God's dream. We were made to be in communion with our God and with each other and with the world God has made. That's why we're here. I think that's it. Evangelism doesn't have a thing to do with a bigger church. It has, right? It does. It has everything to do with a better world. And we get a better world, of course there are going to be some more Episcopalians. Right? But if the motive is just to have more Episcopalians or have bigger churches or have more money or whatever it is, if that's the motive, that is a self-serving, selfish motive, and Jesus didn't go to the cross for that. He went to the cross to change the world. We as Episcopalians, we are part of the Anglican tradition of Christianity, and I want to suggest that Anglicans are not allergic to evangelism. And Episcopalians need not take Excedrin before saying the word evangelism. The only reason we exist is because somebody was doing evangelism. You see what I mean? We wouldn't be here if somebody hadn't shared something about the good news of Jesus Christ. They don't need to come to church for a good show. But let me tell you something. They are interested in this guy named Jesus. There's something about this Jesus who makes a difference. Something about this Jesus who can set us all free. There's something about this Jesus who can show us that love is the way, that love is the only way, and we can make it if we just love. Something about this Jesus. And it is because of this Jesus and his way of love, which I'll talk more about tonight, his way of love that can set us free for life with the God who made us. loves us for real. Our job is to sow the seed. I planted, Apollos watered, but God gives the growth. What that growth looks like is all up to God. Our job is to sow the seed, to help folk find their way home, to help folk find their way to a reconciled relationship with the God who longs for them. And if God is the creator of us all, then that means, I think, but let me put it this way, if you and I got the same mama and daddy, D, you my brother.
Yes, sir.
And you my sister. Truth of the matter is, God has so created this world and this creation that we are actually intended to be God's human family, the beloved community of God. And evangelism is not about a bigger church. It's about the beloved community of God. It's about us finding our way home. It's about us becoming who we really are. But I started to fantasize, what might it look like, if the Episcopal Church woke up around Jesus of Nazareth? What would happen? Just imagine with me. Again, this is not an official statement. This is not a program. But just imagine with me. You heard of Doctors Without Borders? The nice thing about Doctors Without Borders, they go anywhere there is a need. And they take their resources and bring them all together. And wherever there's need for healing, that's where the doctors go. What would happen if we had Episcopalians without borders? Oh, help me somebody. Right? What would happen if we were willing to share what we got? I don't mean it has to be everything, but a tithe would be nice. But share what we've got with each other. And I'm not talking about this is not about anybody having control. But what would happen if diocese said, for the work of evangelism, we're willing to put in this pot, and even if the evangelism doesn't happen in my diocese, if it happens somewhere in the Episcopal Church, we're going to do it. And if the church-wide budget, General Convention said, to heck with some of this structure, let's just use this money for evangelism wherever there's a need. But every time a church has to close and be sold in one part of the country, if some percentage of that money was taken and put in a new generation fund to start new churches so that the death of one leads to the resurrection of another, what would happen? Oh my God, Billy Sunday was right. Heaven help if the Episcopal Church wakes up. We've already got the gifts. Somebody said this morning, we've already got everything we need. Oh, and clergy in this room know, I think will agree with it. One of the most impactful things we did in seminary was CPE, Clinical Pastoral Education. And I dare say CPE has had a positive, incredible impact on the church. I mean, the quality of pastoral care really is good. I mean, it improved from the time when CPE started in, the mid-50s or somewhere thereabouts, and today. What would happen if we had the same expectation if we had clinical pastoral education or CPE for evangelism? If every person who was trained to become a priest or an ordained or non-ordained leader in the Episcopal Church was trained in helping folk to learn to hear stories, to share their stories. If we were trained in how do you organize, how do you help to form Episcopalians so that we can be the gentle, kind, quiet evangelists that we really are. That's okay. We got to be who we are, but so that we really do it. I dare say it would transform this church in a generation. Let me tell you something. I think God has given us the new Roman superhighway in the internet and in social media, because I'm here to tell you, Episcopalians are all over Facebook. I've seen your cats. I've seen your dogs. I've seen your grandchildren. We are all over the place. So what would happen if we helped our folk learn how to use in gentle and authentic and genuine ways to use the social media they're already using to bear witness to the good news of God in Jesus Christ? My brothers and sisters, we might find we're reaching folk. Evangelism is about going home. It's really about going home and helping each other find our way home. We already have the resources we need. We've got the people. We got the brain power. And we're working on the heart power. Oh, we got it. We got it.